Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man! Yes! Let's do it all again, folks. Let's do it all again. Hope you're all well. Now, you may be able to detect upon my visage and my flesh a bit of a blue tinge, a bit of a taint of blue. Now, the reason for that is not that I'm dying and frozen cold. I've gone blue with the ice and the snow prevailing at the moment. No. Yesterday, the Scotland game against Italy in the Rugby Six Nations took place, and I was bedecked in blue war paint. Yes, and I'm struggling to get all that war paint off. It's in my hair, it's behind my ears, it's all the way down my chest. So there's a bit of sort of bluish colouring going on in the beard here. But hey, you know, Scotland won. Fucking yeah. In a very, very demonstrative, fantastic, hard-fought victory. Brilliant. But yeah, we're not here to talk sport. No. You've heard of Boxing Day, comes after Christmas Day. Today is an unboxing day. Yes, and I know some of you have been waiting for this video for a little while. And yeah, it would have been yesterday, it would have been, but I was busy out celebrating in blue. So, without further ado, what's in the box, Kilt-Man? What box are you talking about? This one here. This one here. Yeah, now, we've discussed American Werewolf so many times now, it seems. And once again, you can recognise Elmer Bernstein's spooky, eerie, forlorn and sort of melancholy score for the film. Brilliant, brilliant score. And we've been covering the Tots, Trick or Treat Studios masks from their American Werewolf range, all approved by the genius special effects maestro himself, Rick Baker, who designed all the original creature effects and special makeup effects. And one I've hung fire on getting for a while now, because I've got all the Wolfie ones, and there's still like a couple more beyond this which I need to get hold of as well. But this is one that I've been looking forward to. I don't think you could call it a thing of beauty, really. It's poor David's mate Jack, who gets devoured by the werewolf in the opening scenes on the moors, the Yorkshire moors, in the enclave of East Proctor, having just been unceremoniously asked to remove themselves from the slaughtered lamb, and then unwisely gone, beware the moon, stay off the moors, oops, keep to the road, oh dear. Anyway, poor David gets bitten, becomes the next werewolf. His best mate Jack, played by Griffin Dunn, is savaged and slaughtered, but then will periodically come back throughout the film to warn his best mate from the afterlife. The undead surround me. You ever talk to a corpse? It's boring. To warn David what's going to happen to him. He's going to become a monster when the moon is full, and to take his own life, to save from making other people like him, in this limbo of the undead. And you see him in various states of decay throughout the movie. Famously, the best one, which I'd love a version of this to come out, when he first appears to David, and David's in a hospital in London, and he's having his breakfast, and suddenly Jack appears, ripped up, and famously he has that little waggly bit of flesh there, bit of latex, little triangle of waggly flesh. You can't take your eyes off it. It's fascinating. And as Rick Baker says, that was an accident. That was just a piece that came loose. The hot glue kind of evaporated and it just hung loose, but it created a really wonderful effect. Anyway, there isn't a mask of that. This mask is on Jack's third and final appearance in the porno cinema in Soho, in Leicester Square. And he's also surrounded by all the victims of David's first night as a werewolf. All his victims are all there, trying to give him advice on how to kill himself, But you can put it in your mouth, the gun, you'd be sure not to miss then, Do you mind? The man's a friend of mine. Well, you ain't no friend of mine. And these are, all his victims are sitting there. And you've got the two yuppies as well, who are just, hiya, hello. They're all covered in blood. They don't really care, because they're still together, even in limbo. Brilliant stuff, brilliant. But the effect for Jack in that sequence, that is not Griffin Dunne wearing any makeup. That is a puppet, which is like a decomposed, more decaying evolution of what you've seen before. Only this time, because it's so emaciated, you couldn't put it on Griffin Dunne himself. So Griffin Dunne is actually working the puppet so that he's still got some personality coming through. And anyway, it's known as Theatre Jack. It's in this box. So, what's left for me to do? Get my trusty ski and do. You all know this. It lives down your boot, down there. So you can defend yourself from them wee vagrants and nasties out on the moors and the hills. Those of you who saw my last unboxing, which was also an American Werewolf mask, which was the bald demon, will recall that clumsy Kilt-Man managed to slice open that finger, that one there, the full length, whilst taking the Tots label off the mask. But bravely, Kilt-Man carried on regardless, even though blood was pouring all over the floor and he was beginning to feel a little bit weak. Yes, clumsy Kilt-Man. So, let's do it. And try and be careful this time. Now, once again, this has come from UK company Mad About Horror. Mad About Horror, yes, we all are mad about horror. And these guys are superb. I have a great conversation with them every time. And their delivery is second to none. This arrived within a day, of me ordering it. Awesome. I love them to bits. Way recommend Mad About Horror. There's my invoice. Packing stuff. Oh God. There is a weird, deathly, bulbous eyeball staring at me. Can you see that? Oh. We have a little badge, the Mad About Horror logo. This is beautiful. I've seen a lot of versions of this. This mask from Trick or Treat Studios, it's looked different in lots of people's videos and photos, and I've never really got a proper handle on how it should look, apart from what the film version is. What always seemed to worry me was the hair on a lot of them was a ridiculous, straggly, long mess, which was almost appeared to be hanging off the head. And I thought, well, it didn't look like that in the film. And I'm happy to report, folks. Hello, gorgeous. Very often I feel like that in the mornings. The hair is actually nice and tame. I think the hair is shorter than it appears on lots of other videos and in photos. That's tidier, and it's not as unruly. Folks, look at it, look at it. The bone showing through, the teeth, his poor nose. You see him scratch at his nose, and it's almost like the nose isn't even there, but half of it's gone anyway, Oh, look at that throat. Oh. American Werewolf fans will also almost certainly know that poor Griffin Dunne, when he was sitting in a makeup chair to get his first appliances put on, and of course you'd be in that chair for hours. No matter how well or quick Rick Baker works, it's painstaking stuff to sit in a makeup chair. And as he went into it with gusto, he wasn't fazed, but as he watched his face become more ripped up and desiccated and devoured, he lapsed into a real bad depression, because he just imagined, this is how I'm going to look like when I die. This has been me rotting underground. And he went into a real bad fugue, and it was hard to bring him out of it. But after a few more days of filming and a few more days in the makeup chair, he did finally bounce back into the atmosphere and the mood of it, and gave a great performance, because he's still Jack. He might be the living dead version of Jack, but he's still got his sense of humour. He still fancies that bird back home, What a body. There's nothing mediocre about that body. Debbie Klein. So let's give you a bit more. Look at that eyeball. So yeah, you've only got one eyeball. The other is a big gaping socket. That wiggly worm. Look at the detail on this. Look at it. I'll do this slowly. Got a feeling this is a big mask. Let's get that throat. I'm going to be very careful snipping that off this time. Tell you what, you've seen the video on my Rambo knives and my swords. It's lucky I didn't use one of them. I'd have took the entire fucking arm off, wouldn't I? Look at that. So that waggly bit of skin would have been, well, you can pretend that tag is it. It'd be fluttering away there. It's marvellous. I'm going to take that. Oh God. Please, not this time. Tell you what, that was nerve-wracking. Let's get these little plastic bits out. Let's remove those. Just want to see if it's got any labelling inside. Any sort of, yeah, there's a little bit of, looks very similar to my skin. There's a bit of blue here. And that is the number that this was, pulled from. So this is number, looks like 1772. So there's a lot of these. Look at that. Look at that eyeball. Look at it. It's tremendous, isn't it? And the gaping details here. Can you hear the werewolf snarling, ripping into flesh? With the amount of masks that Trick or Treat Studios are putting out, and they're not half pushing Halloween. I mean, and rightly so. You could never have too many Michael Myers masks. And of course, they've now got the license finally to mass produce the original 1978 mask. I put my pre-order in, again, Mad About Horror. Shameless plug for Mad About Horror, again. It's not due out till September though. But you fans out there, I'd recommend you get your pre-order in now, because that whole thing with the 2018 Michael Myers mask, if you didn't get your pre-order in just in time, you could have waited weeks and weeks and weeks after everyone else in the world seemed to have them. I was a bit lax as well, but mine still got there in time for, well, the film coming out. So it's due out September, so obviously in time for Halloween. And oh man, it's the original one, the original mask now. You've got your L-Rods and all that, and your independent mask makers have done them. But this is the first proper mass-produced one by, inarguably the leading mass-produced mask manufacturer, Trick or Treat Studios. Again, I always say a lot of people have problems with them. A lot of people, there could be some politics involved in this, but I personally have not had a problem with them at all, ever. I think the masks are glorious, top quality. For a remember, that's mass-produced. That's not an individually made thing. And you've got to remember this as well. It's also approved by Rick Baker. I know people go like, with movies, they restore movies all the time. It's director approved, it's cinematographer approved. And it doesn't mean jack shit in some cases, because the guys involved in it who've approved it didn't make that film for 40 years ago. So what do they remember? I know, unless they've had a proper hands-on, they've actually been involved massively in the restoration of that film. But Rick Baker did sign off on these because they were his babies. He loved these. He loved that movie. He's not a gore makeup artist. He's done a little bit, of course, over the years, but a lot of makeup effects, a lot of dazzling, fantastic makeup effects, pushing the boundary of animatronics and prosthetic effects. And without a doubt, one of this absolute, the legendary status that he got is because of this. Well, the transformation primarily, but look at this guy. You only see him sitting in the shadows. There's a scene outside the theatre where Jack sort of summons the now losing his mind David, and he sort of nods at the cinema in here, and that's obviously Griffin Dunne stood there with a very green pasty sort of mask on, which is not that, because when you see this in the theatre, as I said before, it's a puppet, it's a puppet, and Griffin Dunne is sitting behind it and underneath and working its mouth and turning its head, Look at that eyeball, it seems to float, doesn't it? Should I put this on? Yeah, let's put it on. Let's see. Do you know what? That is huge. Look at that. I don't get these masks to wear. I don't. And a lot of you who collect masks don't wear them either. You put them on display because look at them. Look at it. It's beautiful, isn't it? Listen to this bit of music. This is Jack's second appearance. And David's actually at Nurse Price's flat. The lovely Jenny Agatha. And he looks even more decomposed, and it's a much more melancholy, frightening sequence. There's no real sense of humour to it. Jack picks up the Mickey Mouse figure and goes, "Hey David!" And David's like, "Put that down!" Because it's it. The clever thing about this film is it's genuinely funny, laugh out loud funny, but genuinely horrifying and frightening, genuinely thrilling and exciting. But you really believe in these characters because, they act their little fairy socks off in this movie. And you get that sense of real tragedy. It's a dark, dark movie. I'm stalling for time, folks. I'm going in. Oh my God. Folks, I don't know if you can hear me, but this is not a big mask. It's actually quite cramped in here. Oh, look at this. Great movie. Do you mind? The man's a friend of mine. Oh, God damn it, David, please believe me. You'll make other people like me. I'm not having a good time here. Debbie Klein cried a lot. Now, whoa. What I would... Oh, hair in the mouth. Hair in the mouth. Don't be naughty. Don't make up your own stories there. What I would do, if you were going to wear this, obviously, you'd need to put some black material in there to keep that other eye, because that does not look right. You don't want your normal eye looking there, poking through. That's not what you want. So, folks, trick or treat. Tots Studios. Sculpted by Justin Mabry, who I think has done all the American Werewolf one. I think. Oh, could be wrong. I always say who's done them on the videos, but I don't know. There's still... Do I need 2 more? I need to get the mask of David from the nightmare sequence where he runs through the woods and he sees himself lying in a hospital bed, and he sees this very surreal sequence, and Nurse Price comes up and goes to sort of rouse him, and suddenly David, who's lying there calmly against the pillows, just goes "Rawr!" with a sort of vampiric, but obviously the canines are massively enhanced. His eyes are feral and yellow, and it's a beautiful mask. And there's another one, I think. Let's just have a little look. Of course, the warmonger from the other dream sequence, the Nazi werewolf demon with the German helmet on as well. Tom, you're out there and you've got that mask. Yes. But have you got this one? Warmonger's next on my list. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, well, in previous videos, one day, I'm going to have a studio be decked out like the Slaughtered Lamb. I'm going to have all these characters in there. They'll all be sitting there on mannequins and that. And we'll have a dartboard there. We'll have, the pentagram on the wall with the candles. I'll have a darkness mist, and it's, you made me miss. I've never missed that boat before. And we'll have Brian Glover telling racist Mexican jokes on a loop. We'll have the bar, and we'll have the big American werewolf on a big armature, a big skeleton. He'll be there. So I have family members deep in conversation in the hall. They've obviously been out on the land, checking in on all Kilt-Man's tenants. So guys, what do you think of that then? Bring it in close again. Do you know what? I'm absolutely made up with that. I can't think of any. There's no fault with that. There's no fault with that at all. And it's not, I thought it was going to be huge, like wearing an outside Darth Vader helmet on your head, a fish tank or something, deep sea diver helmet. No, that's very snug in there, which is reassuring. And of course, it's a deluxe thing because you've got all this neck piece as well. Sits on your shoulders, sits very nicely. You could wear this, as I say, you put some black material over that eye, bit of gauze so you can still see through it, and hit the streets, get your old-fashioned 1970s, early 80s parka, whip it up a bit, Another nice touch is the hands, because you see him in that middle sequence where, he's not quite as dishevelled as this. He's playing with the Mickey Mouse doll. Put that down! I will not be threatened by a walking meatloaf! You see his hands, and the bones are sticking through, and he settles his hands together in his lap, and it's just a beautiful eerie touch. They're green and decomposing, and the bones are revealed. Be able to get a hand appliance like that, Anyway, folks, there it is, the meatloaf. Tasty, yes. See the hair again. Look at the hair. Now, you could work on that. I'm not going to, because, as I've said, on other ones, that hair seems to be much longer, straggly and almost hanging off. That is great. Let's just check out how it is stitched in or glued on. Do we have any? It's in layers. Okay, folks, it's in layers. You see there? So it's in layers going across. But there are no baldy patches. There's no undead alopecia taking place there. Looks really good. It's a tousled neck. It's going to be tousled. For God's sake, creepy werewolf was savaging him. Beautiful. And I love that wonky nose as well. And he scratches that. Very good quality. It's nice and thick. Very thick, in fact. Part of me wishes, okay, now I'm analysing a bit closer, that there was a bit of a gap, a bit of between the two jaw bones, the two layers of teeth. I wish there was a bit of a hole there, maybe, to give them a bit more individuality. I don't know if you know what I mean. It seems very set and rigid, but it's great. You don't want them rattling around, do you? I love that. Look how wicked that looks. The slices. Oh, he was so badly done in, wasn't he? Jack! And you see him lying there. Oh God, Jesus! Oh God, get up! Oh, fucking Jesus! Ah! Oh, it's a horribly nasty graphic kill sequence, that. I remember Rick Baker said to him, "We've only got one werewolf head. Don't fuck it up." Because I'm going to be working it as you're lying there, and this is on poor Griffin Dunn when he's getting savaged. He said, "Don't wreck the head. Don't grab hold of it. Just put your hands up and try and push away, but don't grab hold of it and pull." So what did he do? But what are you going to do when you're in the moment? You're on the moors and you're being attacked by a werewolf. He fought back, and he damaged the werewolf head. So they had to make another one in the end anyway. Spot on, Griffin. Come on, as if you could be relaxed. Get another look at that eye. Fabulous. And, you know, Rick Baker would have been anatomically correct with, you know, the esophagus and, you know, epiglottis, whatever all the doings are inside here, you know, inside your throat. He would have had all them, you know, scientifically, biologically correct as well. And of course the layers of skin that you've gone through and the flesh. Because these guys, they take it seriously. You want to be as authentic as you can be when you've got the undead. So, folks, put him down there. I forgot about my damn tea. So, no accidents this time round. Here's the labels. There's all the other masks. That one in the middle, that's the hospital one. The Nightmare David. Great, isn't it? So 2 more to get. So once I've got them all, I'll have a big sort of en masse video. I'll have them all around and we'll get the pack together. So folks, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back later on with some other lunacy. So, for me and Jack, we're off to the theatre to watch porn. So guys, for me and him, take it easy, keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic, and Scotland forever! Shia! So, I'm going to see you all later. I didn't mean to call you a meatloaf, Jack.